Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Rule of Two. This, of course, is Rob, and we're going back to the vlog format for today because I thought it would be fun. Also, kind of changing up my setup and determining how much better quality I can get out of the vlog stuff. So I've got my microphone here in front of me, as you can see, and it's going to help it sound much better when, in fact, we do happen to see my face and I do the vlog stuff going forward, which, like I said, I'm going to try to work in and do on occasion, and maybe eventually I'll do video game footage along with my face for the vlog stuff. But for now, we're going to do all vlog style. What I'm talking about today is going to be the Doom 4 announcement. From a couple of days ago. I know I'm a little bit late to the party. This was about 3-ish days ago, maybe over the weekend here. It was revealed at QuakeCon, and it's a little bit different in the sense that we don't have any actual gameplay footage that we can all see, the general public. They did, however, show some footage of the game at QuakeCon, which is really cool. They released to the general public and to the world and the internet a minute and a half long teaser, which is just like a CG trailer, which is cool. Like, it's admittedly pretty cool, but it's really nothing special. It's the kind of typical stuff you get out of reveals for games nowadays because they can just make it a bunch of CG stuff and it's not super exciting. Not as exciting as we'd want it to be. You know, any CG trailer can look amazing for any kind of game. What we want to see is the gameplay, and sadly, we don't have any of that yet. But what's really neat is they did confirm that they showed 2 levels of the game being played on stage at QuakeCon. That's pretty cool because normally with these kinds of things, they wouldn't do that. I just finished watching the bonus round on game trailers where hosted by Jeff Keighley, and he was talking to a few people, Adam Sessler and someone whose name I forget, who actually works for Bethesda and has been working on the game, on Doom 4 itself. It's been pretty cool because he was discussing how they really wanted to make this not like a big Gamescom or E3 or just press release kind of reveal. They made it a very special thing for attendees of QuakeCon because QuakeCon is put on, obviously by id, because id created Quake and they created Doom, and they're the ones who really put on QuakeCon, so they wanted to make it personal for those fans who are dedicated to id and their company and all the games they've put out over the years, which is really cool. I actually totally get that, and I support that idea. It does suck because we didn't get to see any of the gameplay or anything. We didn't get any footage ourselves, which is too bad. But it's really neat that it is at least far enough along that they were able to show some of it. And what they actually showed sounds pretty cool. I should preface that I'm actually somebody, again, who grew up as a young gamer in the 80s and 90s. So when Doom and Wolfenstein first hit like IBMs and PCs and stuff in the old Apple Macs back in the day, that was the first-person game I'd ever seen. Like, no questions asked. It was actually probably Wolfenstein, followed soon then by the original Doom. So I played the original Wolfenstein and the first 2 Doom games relentlessly. They were just the coolest things. Doom was even better because, the graphics were a little bit better. The levels were like multi-layered stuff that Wolfenstein didn't have. Wolfenstein was very simple and awesome, but it was just way, way simple. And Doom took it to the next level. They also made it demonic and kind of evil, and it was bloody. And it was the first time I'd ever seen a God code. They had a gun called the BFG, which stood for Big Fucking Gun, and I just thought that was so badass when I was 10 years old. It was the ultimate. It was everything early gaming was doing as it was evolving. Doom was the first initial release of a lot of things. All that gore, some swearing, like that next level of first-person kind of gameplay when it was brand new. It was awesome. So I have a very deep-seated love and history for Doom. And also Quake 2. Not as much Quake 3, which I know was like the revolution, but Quake 2 I actually played quite a bit. Those are all great games. It is wonderful. I love Doom. So the idea of a Doom 4 coming out for, the next-gen consoles and definitely for PC, it's probably going to be best on PC. Super exciting. I wish that we've gotten to see some footage, but we know we'll get to see it at some point soon. What's interesting to note, the nature of the conversation had a bonus round, which is where I got most of my information about the game. And I'll link that below for you guys to check out too. It's a good video. If you're interested in Doom, you should look at it. They talk about a couple things. There's something going on with the melee that seems to be really fresh and unique and new to most first-person games and definitely to Doom. Of course, we can't see it, so I can't really speak on what they're speaking about, but it sounds like it's this really unique way to melee people, and like there's something about splitting a skull open. And the developer who works for Bethesda, who's been working on the game, who was on the panel, talked about how it's very much tactile to the game itself. The game is going to understand what character you are, where you are in relation to the enemy, what kind of enemy you're fighting, what, life levels each of you are at, and it's going to determine which kind of these really awesome, unique melee killing attacks your character is going to do. They spent like the first half of the video talking about this, so whatever it is, it sounds like it's a pretty big deal. It's supposed to be something pretty fantastic. So that's really exciting. Can't wait to see what that ends up being. But, and the other thing that they talked about, too, that I wanted to touch on is the fact that they're not quite sure how much of a narrative is coming into play. They were sort of pro Jeff Keighley and Adam Sessler and the other people. Someone else from Game Informer, who Game Informer is like totally lost on me anymore. I can't even deal with those guys. They're not my favorite people in the world, but whatever. They were, talking to the guy from Bethesda and trying to, sort of get some information out of him as far as how much is it really like a story? How much is it multiplayer? Is it going to be one of those multiplayer only kind of things like how Titanfall ended up releasing, stuff like that? And he didn't really want to say, so he didn't divulge those answers right now. What he said was most important with this reveal that they did very personally at QuakeCon is to really just, showcase the gameplay, talk about how it's going to play, what's going to make it fun. Jeff Keighley brought up a good point that I ultimately agree with enough, is that Doom doesn't necessarily need this strong narrative. It doesn't need a lot of people talking to you in these cutscenes to further the story and the end stuff along. I mean, and I agree, although what I don't want is for this game to be multiplayer only. I certainly am okay with a really awesome, robust, fun multiplayer mode. I'm all about that. But I want this to still have a campaign, whether it's single player, co-op, or both. And I just will want to mostly, when I get that game, sit down and just go through the missions. I don't necessarily have to become so invested in the characters, but I want to be a character. I want to have goals and things to accomplish and an end game to work towards, because that is fun. I want the environments to vary. I want the tension and the fear to build and build, because Doom, especially with Doom 3, became a very scary experience, and it should only get better with the advent of the new technology that PCs have and the next gen technology in the PS4 and Xbox One, and with any luck Wii U. I think that there's a lot of potential for that campaign and story mode for the next Doom to be awesome. And if I had to guess, I would think it's almost a surefire bet that it will have a campaign mode. I don't think it's going to be multiplayer only. But is that possible? Yes, that's a very common thing. And since they wouldn't really confirm either, one way or another, that could mean that it ends up being that way. But I'm going to stick to my guns, and I really just don't think that they're going to do that. We're going to get some sort of campaign story mode in some way. And I think that that's going to be really cool. And, to wrap up this video in talking about what they wrapped up their video on was the discussion about how they're really trying to come back to the idea of games are just fun. Games like these are meant to be a little bit goofy, cheesy, campy, scary, and gory, but still just like ridiculous and fun. So don't get too worried about this serious, dark, tonal shift in story and, oh my God, this character, this is really sad, and this is really heavy, and da-da-da. Apparently, that's not the focus. It's really just Doom is a fun game where you shoot and blow the shit out of demons, and it's crazy and scary and dark and awesome. And it sounds like that's what they're focusing on, as well as, revamping the gameplay. So I don't really think this game is going to be any sort of revolution in the genre. I just don't know what the next first-person game to be revolutionary is going to be. We thought it was going to be Titanfall. I've yet to play it. I will soon. And although I know it's supposed to be pretty awesome, I don't think it's revolutionary like people thought, or like maybe they wanted it to be. But that's okay. I mean, as long as games are good, that's all they have to be. And I think that Doom 4 is going to be freaking awesome. Like I said, I grew up as a huge fan, so I'm really excited to see id working on something else and to see the series continuing. And id is great. They're a great developer, great publisher. Love those guys. They've made almost nothing but entirely great games. If you're not familiar with them, please definitely check out their catalog. They've made wonderful things. If you're a younger gamer and you've never played the original Doom games, I mean, they're definitely going to feel dated to you, which is tragic beyond belief, but they're still awesome, and you should go and check them out. I definitely highly recommend checking out those games. They're pretty fantastic. So, yeah, I don't know. That's it. Doom 4 was a pretty big reveal. It was rumored for a long time. Glad to finally see it coming back. I think it's going to be holiday next year, 2015. It's going to have at least one E3 to be able to showcase all sorts of good stuff. There's no way it's coming out this year or early next year. It is, at earliest, I'm going to say, like October 2015. It is not this year. It is the end of the year next year, which is really tragic. But hey, we'll see. You know, they'll give us a date soon. You know, probably see more at maybe Tokyo Game Show this year, definitely E3 next year. So I'm super pumped for Doom 4. What do you guys think? Are you Doom fans or not? Again, are you maybe too young to have grown up playing Doom? If so, what do you think about it? Do you get excited about this game knowing that it's a big deal for, you know, within the history of gaming and for a lot of us who are older and did grow up playing those games? You know, what do you think? If you guys are excited, if you're not, go ahead and share below. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the vlog format again today, and I'll be going back and forth doing these for a while, like I said. And thanks for tuning in. Of course, don't forget to please subscribe to Rule of Two Review. Been having some bumps in subscribers lately. Feels fantastic. Really helps myself out and the channel out. I work really hard at Rule of Two Review, so the more we get supporting Rule of Two Review, the better. So, yeah, please subscribe, like, and share the video, and share your comments about Doom below. And that is definitely it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys next time.